Extreme wide aerial shot of the Taklamakan Desert in golden hour. Endless rolling sand dunes stretching to the horizon in all directions. Deep amber and burnt sienna tones. Dramatic long shadows cutting across the dunes. A single barely visible ancient caravan track disappearing into the distance. Oppressive heat haze shimmering on the horizon. No signs of life. Cinematic 8K documentary photography. Hyper-realistic. Anamorphic lens flare, epic scale, color grade, warm orange shadows with cool purple sky, ultra-detailed grain texture. Cinematic wide establishing shot of the ancient Chinese imperial city of Chang'an, circa 100 CE, viewed from a high elevated angle at dawn. Massive city walls stretching into the distance, thousands of buildings with curved clay-tiled rooftops, busy market streets visible below with merchants, silk weavers, soldiers in Han Dynasty armor, smoke rising from cooking fires, a grand imperial palace complex visible in the background, warm golden morning light, photorealistic historical epic cinematography, color palette, warm gold, deep red, morning mist blue. Ground-level cinematic shot of a massive Silk Road caravan departing at dawn, hundreds of Bactrian two-humped camels loaded with heavy bundles of silk and goods, their breath misting in cold morning air, Sogdian merchants in layered woolen robes walking alongside, armed guards on horseback at the flanks, camel bells creating a visual rhythm, dust rising from thousands of feet on dry earth, long dramatic shadows, wide anamorphic composition, photorealistic, gritty and dusty atmosphere, color grade, desaturated teal and amber. Extreme close-up cinematic portrait of a Bactrian camel's face against a blurred desert background, 3 eyelids partially visible, thick shaggy fur around the neck, deep intelligent dark eyes reflecting the desert landscape, sand particles caught in the eyelashes, dramatic side lighting from a low sun, photorealistic ultra-detailed animal photography, shallow depth of field, documentary film grain, color palette, warm sand, earth brown, amber light. Dramatic wide cinematic shot of a massive sandstorm wall, a towering dark orange wall of sand 300 meters high, rapidly engulfing a small Silk Road caravan in the middle distance, the caravan barely visible as silhouettes against the approaching chaos, merchants pulling cloth over their faces, camels lowering their heads, an overwhelming sense of scale and helplessness, turbulent churning sky, lightning inside the storm wall, photorealistic disaster cinematography, color palette, deep orange, dark brown, apocalyptic amber, cinematic grain. Atmospheric cinematic shot of an ancient crumbling mud brick watchtower at the edge of the Dunhuang Desert at dusk, 4th century CE. Warm last light catching the worn texture of ancient clay bricks, a bundle of rolled papyrus letters partially visible tucked into a crack in the wall, desert wind sending a thin stream of sand across the floor, long purple shadows, no human figures, heavy emotional stillness, photorealistic historical photography, color grade, muted earth tones, purple dusk sky, deeply melancholic mood. Close cinematic interior shot of a Sogdian woman named Nanai Dat, approximately 30 years old, wearing worn layered robes in faded blue and brown, sitting on the earthen floor of a sparse mud brick room, writing on a narrow papyrus scroll by the flickering light of a single clay oil lamp, her expression a mixture of exhaustion and desperate determination, shadows deep and dramatic, dust particles floating in the lamplight, photorealistic historical drama cinematography, color palette, warm amber lamp glow against deep shadow, muted earth tones, intimate and heartbreaking atmosphere. Wide cinematic shot of the ancient market square of Samarkand circa 300 CE, a crowded and chaotic bazaar, Sogdian merchants with high cheekbones and curling beards in colorful layered Central Asian robes negotiating over bolts of Chinese silk, Roman glassware, Indian spices in clay pots, bags of pepper, lacquered Chinese boxes. The market is a collision of cultures, Chinese traders, Persian buyers, Indian spice dealers, nomadic Turkic horse sellers visible in background, golden afternoon light, photorealistic historical epic, rich jewel tone color palette, high detail, cinematic depth of field. Epic wide cinematic shot of a Silk Road caravan crossing an extreme high-altitude mountain pass in the Pamirs at 4,500 meters elevation, snow-covered jagged peaks surrounding a narrow rocky path, a line of merchants and pack animals struggling against howling wind, one figure collapsed in the foreground being helped by another, thin freezing mist, distant valley 3,000 feet below visible through a gap in the clouds, brutal scale and isolation, photorealistic historical survival cinematography, color palette, ice blue, gray snow, dark rock, a single warm orange torch flame visible. Cinematic interior shot deep inside one of the Moga caves at Dunhuang, the curved rock walls and ceiling covered floor to ceiling in ancient Buddhist murals painted in vivid blues, reds, golds, and greens, depicting musicians playing instruments from multiple cultures, merchants with foreign faces, the Buddha in Hellenistic robes, the cave lit by dozens of small butter lamps, creating a warm golden glow. A lone Buddhist monk kneeling in prayer silhouetted in the foreground. Photorealistic archaeological documentary cinematography. Rich jewel tone color palette. Deeply spiritual atmosphere. Cinematic wide night shot of a Silk Road oasis city, based on Dunhuang circa 7th century CE, seen from a slight elevation, a cluster of mud brick buildings, caravanserais and temples glowing with warm firelight against the vast black desert surrounding them on all sides, a sky absolutely blazing with stars, the Milky Way arching overhead, fires and torches making the city look like a tiny island of warmth and life in an ocean of darkness, distant dunes barely visible in starlight, photorealistic night sky photography, deeply atmospheric. Cinematic close-up shot of two hands, one clearly East Asian, one clearly Mediterranean European, holding opposite ends of a bolt of shimmering, luminous Chinese silk, the fabric catching and refracting light in extraordinary ways, a marketplace environment softly blurred in the background, suggesting an international trading post, the silk itself the most detailed element, its translucent shimmer, its almost impossibly fine weave, photorealistic luxury product cinematography, color palette, pearl white silk against warm amber market light, shallow depth of field. Cinematic medium shot of a wealthy Roman senator circa 1st century CE in a toga partially made of shimmering Chinese silk, standing in a colonnaded Roman courtyard at midday, the silk fabric catching Mediterranean light in a way that clearly distinguishes it from Roman wool and linen around him. His expression is one of satisfied luxury and total ignorance of its origin. Photorealistic historical drama cinematography. Color palette, white marble columns, warm Mediterranean sun, the silk a luminous cream and gold, realistic Roman period costume detail.
Dark cinematic wide shot of a Mediterranean port city, circa 165 CE at dusk. A Roman trading ship arriving at the dock, merchants and sailors disembarking, but one figure is hunched and clearly ill, being helped off the gangplank. Local dock workers stepping back instinctively. The city visible behind the dock is bustling and unknowing. Dramatic low-angle light casting long, ominous shadows. A sense of terrible, invisible arrival. Photorealistic historical drama. Color palette, dark teal sea, amber torchlight, deep shadows, ominous mood. Cinematic extreme wide shot of the Buddhist monk Xuanzang, alone except for a single horse, crossing a narrow mountain ledge in the Pamirs. Sheer cliff dropping thousands of feet to his left, ice-covered rock face to his right, his orange monk's robes whipping in the freezing wind, carrying a wooden frame backpack loaded with sacred manuscripts wrapped in cloth, looking small and solitary against the colossal scale of the mountains. Late afternoon golden light catching the ice. Photorealistic historical survival drama. Color palette, cold blue-gray mountains, warm orange robe, ice white, epic scale. Dramatic wide cinematic shot of the great Silk Road city of Merv burning 1221 CE, seen from a distance, massive fire columns rising from the city's buildings against a night sky turned orange and red by the flames. The silhouettes of Mongol horsemen visible as dark shapes in the foreground, watching the destruction. The architectural grandeur of what was once one of the world's greatest cities, visible in the burning outlines of its minarets and domes. Photorealistic historical war cinematography. Color palette: deep black, apocalyptic orange and red fire, ash gray smoke. Cinematic wide interior shot of Kublai Khan's throne room in Khan Balik, modern Beijing, circa 1275 CE. The vast hall filled with Mongol nobles, Chinese officials, and foreign dignitaries. Golden light from hundreds of lanterns. At the far end, Kublai Khan seated on a raised throne in golden robes, and in the foreground, Marco Polo, clearly a young European in travel-worn clothes, entering and staring at the overwhelming grandeur around him with visible awe. Photorealistic historical epic cinematography. Rich color palette of gold, deep red lacquer, jade green. Melancholic wide cinematic shot of an abandoned Silk Road caravanserai in Central Asia, its mud brick walls crumbling and partially buried by encroaching sand dunes. A single broken stone archway still standing, the interior open to the sky and filled with drifting sand, the remains of old fire pits and a stone water trough barely visible. Late afternoon golden light, deep long shadows, wind moving sand slowly across the floor, utterly empty, no human presence. Photorealistic melancholic historical photography. Color palette: warm amber, faded ochre, cool shadow blue, deeply quiet atmosphere. Epic cinematic aerial shot slowly pulling back from a single ancient Silk Road camel track in the desert sand. The track perfectly preserved and extending from foreground into the vast desert toward a distant horizon where the sun is setting in an extraordinary blaze of amber and deep violet. The track is empty but clearly defined, a ghost road. As the camera continues to pull back, the sheer scale of the desert becomes overwhelming, the track becoming a thin line and then a whisper in the landscape. Photorealistic aerial cinematography, deeply emotional and contemplative. Color grade: warm amber, violet, gold. Cinematic vignette.